Hi darlings, thank you for joining me on another episode of Tea Time. I feel like it's been a little while since I've had the opportunity to sit down and exhale and just have a nice calm chat with you. There's just been so much going on in the world. On this tea time, it was really important for me to discuss something with you that I get a lot of questions about. I get a ton of questions, not only from you, my Instagram family, but also in my everyday life. And it's the topic of white hair, specifically my white hair and my choice to embrace my white hair. Before we jump into embracing white hair, the white hair movement, and all things curly white hair, I just want to share with you what tea I am having today. And I'm actually, it's kind of warm, so I'm having a cold kombucha from GTS Synergy, and this flavor is Watermelon Wonder. And I have tried brewing my own kombucha. I just haven't been able to find my rhythm with it to the angst of my husband. I don't know, I guess a little bit lazy. Anyway, when I'm being lazy, I always turn to this brand. They only add fruit to their kombuchas, and I really like that. And kombucha, if you're not familiar, is fermented tea with a culture, and it puts good bacteria into your gut and it helps you absorb your nutrients better. And I love kombucha. I have at least one bottle a day, and I poured it in my little cup with some ice just to keep it extra cold. Let's see, where do I begin about embracing white hair? Let me start with the number one question I get, and that is this your natural hair color? Yes, this is my natural hair color. I have never dyed my hair. My hair has been turning white since I was 23. I'm now 42, so that means for about 20 years my hair has been turning white. Now we'll start at the beginning. So when I got my first white hair, like many people when they first see their white hair, I was freaking out. I was not comfortable with it. I felt very self-conscious, and I would take scissors, and they were in the front, and I would just like cut as close to my scalp as possible, and I tried to like blend it into my hair so that no one could see it. Then they started coming in hot and heavy. It was getting increasingly difficult to conceal them, either with cutting them or just strategically making a ponytail and laying the white hairs underneath hairs. And I started buying like little boxes of dye and just trying to color them. And I noticed, like, why is white hair so resistant to dye? So I was trying to do that, and it was a losing battle. And I just eventually said, one, I'm being silly. Two, it's coming in so quickly, and you could still see it. Like, you could totally see it, and you can totally see that I was trying to dye it in my bathroom, and it just looked like dirty hair. It didn't look flattering, and that made me even more self-conscious that people knew that I wasn't comfortable with it, and that you could see that I was doing a really terrible job at dyeing my hair. And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm done with this. Not to mention, I did notice that like the texture of my curls was sort of getting ruined, where I was like trying to dye it, and I hadn't even done it that many times. And so very early on, maybe around 25, 26, I just decided to let it go. And the confidence to embrace my white hair was not necessarily something that I chose. I chose not to, one, ruin my curls, two, I felt like it was a losing battle, and so it was less about, oh, look at me, I'm making this declaration of just strength and I'm not dyeing my hair. It wasn't like that at all. It was just like, what other choice do I have? And in accepting my choice, I grew confident with that choice, and I could see people's eyes like talking to me, and then their eyes would go up and look at my hair, and I just kind of was like, oh well. I am also the kind of person that marches to their own beat anyway. I don't really care what people think as far as am I doing what's socially acceptable, we are talking to a woman who had a child very young, and so I already had like a certain inner confidence by time I was in my mid to late 20s. So embracing my white hair seemed like something that I felt totally okay with. It was not trendy, it was not cool, and in addition to that, having curly, frizzy white hair definitely was something you weren't seeing everywhere. But I will say that my grandmother on my dad's side was like pure white hair, and I totally favor my dad's side. And she had the most rich, gorgeous, healthy, dewy skin, which I'm pretty sure I get my skin from her. And she had these glorious cheeks and this beautiful white hair. And so my entire life, I attributed white hair to being beautiful. I never saw it as, never attributed it to being less youthful. Let's just put it like that. So I thought white hair against brown skin, I found it to be the most beautiful, and my grandmother to me was beautiful. And so I am honored that I favor her and that I'm carrying on the white hair tradition. And I don't even know if anyone else on my dad's side or on her dad's side had white hair anyway. But not everyone has that kind of like inner thing that says, I'm gonna do this in spite of what is societal norms, because everything out there in the beauty market, in just what you see in magazines, it's always trying to keep you as young as possible, especially women. It is definitely an inequality there. Men, when they get white hair, they're distinguished and handsome. Most every woman, when they see a good-looking 40-something man with like that peppery hair and kind of like that rugged vibe, swoon, right? When it's a woman and she's in her 40s and she's got peppery hair, I don't know, cricket, not so much swooning going on, right? Because everyone says, Nana, Grandma. I get those comments pretty much on a regular basis on every post. Ooh, look at that Grandma, look at that Nana. And I'm thinking, no, I just have 2 kids. They don't have kids. I'm not a grandma. So what I'm getting at is, obviously, there is an inequality between men and women as they get white hair. Men never have a second thought of should they color it. They never do. And in fact, when I see a man who colors their hair, I'm just like, wow, I guess I shouldn't judge you, but I'm kind of judging you, because aren't men kind of into that, like, distinguished look? For women, however, the beauty market is constructed to make you feel insecure if you have white hair. Because do you see any 30-somethings, 40-somethings in the beauty market, in magazines, with white hair, naturally white hair? You seldom, if never ever see it. When you see someone in a magazine or in a commercial or wherever you're looking, you will see white hair attached to a more mature face. So I, being someone all through the 30s who had white hair, most of my 20s having white hair, I never saw anyone that looked like me. And it's a shame. It really, really is a shame. And that definitely was something that's very important to us here at TTL to bring that to the forefront. It is something that I'm kind of like this champion Pied Piper for urging all of you. When you DM me, man, I will spend my time to like lift you up and to let you know that you define your beauty. Your hair color does not define your beauty. And it is so empowering when you let go and kind of like embracing natural hair. Many of you are probably on a natural hair journey or have been on a natural hair journey. I've been natural my whole life. I've never straightened it or relaxed it or anything like that. So, but I can relate to really getting to a place where I love my hair and I like the texture, and along comes white hair and it kind of like knocks the wind out of you. So I guess what I'm saying is, it takes a lot of just soul searching, like embracing white hair when you're ready. It's not something that anyone else can tell you when is the right time. But I do know that if seeing me with my white hair, with my natural curls, in all its glory from day to day, and you see that I love my hair and that I love myself and that I accept the way that I am made, encourages you to embrace your white hair, then I'm like, yay. I'm extremely happy for that, and happy to be that person for anyone out there who is kind of still in this tug of war with their hair. And listen, again, to embrace your white hair, I'm telling you, it is an individual journey. It is a journey that you will take, and when it comes to that time, it's totally up to you if you ever get there. That's fine too. You don't ever have to embrace your white hair. Of courage in the beginning to embrace your white hair when what you hear from everyone around you is, don't you think you should dye your hair? And trust me, I heard that. But I'm telling you, there's a side of Tennille where I dare anyone to come to me today and tell me, why don't you dye your hair? Because I will probably get very puffed up and feel very heated and need to give someone a nice set down on why they should MYOB, mind your own business. Obviously, if I've let my hair go white this long, you standing there telling me to dye my hair is not gonna make not one bit of difference. But people are entitled to their opinions, and it really is kind of hurtful when friends and family tell you that you're less beautiful, or it makes you look old, and that your sexual attraction is attached to your white hair. And it's completely, I don't agree with it at all. I don't believe that your youthfulness nor your beauty is attached to your hair color in that way. I think that beauty comes from within, and how you exude that confidence. And you know, a white hair for me does not diminish beauty. It only enhances it. That is definitely the take that I have for having or wearing my white hair. And it's very emotional. We women are very much attached to hair. Is an emotional conversation no matter what. Having natural hair is very emotional. Hair is emotional, and certainly having white hair can be very emotional as well. And again, that's something that is very individual, and it's completely up to you when you are ready to embrace your white hair. And I'm just happy to be here as a representation of someone who loves it and has loved it for nearly 2 decades, just shy. And yeah, again, we are not taught to love white hair and to love the aging process. The whole point of life is to age and to mature and to grow and love the process of it. That doesn't mean that you forsake your youthfulness for it, because I personally feel like I'm 42, I feel great, I feel youthful, I feel vibrant and alive, and I think my white hair is beautiful. And it's okay if other people don't feel that way, and when they look at me they don't feel that way, that's okay with me too. I'm just sitting here telling you how it is living in my body with the white hair. And on that note, I just want to offer a few tips on transitioning to white hair that aren't necessarily things that I have done, but things that I have read that other people have done that kind of work. And you can do a gradual like dyeing or highlighting of your hair. I wear a lot of headbands, and I think that people, when they're transitioning their white hair, headbands are great because you kind of like push it back, and you know, it sort of takes away from just seeing just the white growth, whatever. And then of course there are people who do like the big chop, and they just start not dyeing their hair, and then they get to a point where they just cut off the hair, and then it becomes more integrated. I feel like my number one tip for transitioning is something that you're not actually going to be able to pick up from a store or have someone assist you with, and that is just patience. And if you do need assistance and you're looking for support, there are lots of white hair communities out there. There's one that comes to the top of my head called Grombre. If you haven't been on that IG page, I highly recommend you get on there and you can see all the beautiful women that are in various stages of their transitioning kind of tie-dye effect of their white hair, and it's absolutely stunning and breathtaking to me. So I just feel like through this journey of embracing not only natural hair, embracing white hair, aging, youthfulness, this whole big pot of aging, I just wish it was a little different out there and that it was more prevalent and in the community when you're walking and you're seeing ads, or you're seeing ads come up on your computer and things like that. And you guys are tagging me all the time in ads that I'm in, and I did some modeling for a Getty image photographer, and the fact that I see so many of those images that I shot with him, I see them on so many different ads, tells me that there is a hunger out there to see and to kind of normalize what is obviously natural and to me, which is to be a woman of 42 years old, but also to have, I would say, over 75% of my hair is white. It's very, very white. And I think that seeing those, like walking into a vitamin store and I see it, and then you guys tag me like you're at your gynecologist and you see like a pamphlet for pap smears and there's my face with my white hair. And I just think from all these different ads, it tells me that we want to see that. That is, we want to see someone who is happy and confident and embracing their white hair. And I'm telling you, you can do it too. And when you're ready, you will know. And all right, darlings, if you have any questions or comments, please leave me a comment below. IGTV, the tea times, is like definitely that time when I sit down with my computer and really try and reach every single comment that comes through. And I always appreciate you guys watching my videos and engaging with me. I only do it because I know our conversations and our chat is my time to connect with all of you, and I love it so much. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next tea time. Until then, cheers!